Wednesday. May schedule na tayo especially sa last Thursday nakita ko na third period yung math natin. So after recess time, doon tayo magte-take nung sa subject ko. So let's begin with our discussion for this week. So mag-i-start yung discussion natin about reviewing yung mga formulas na ginamit natin for the first 4 modules natin. So papakita natin na yung unang formula na ginamit natin, di ba? To discuss itong material natin is yung formula natin in finding the n term of the arithmetic sequence. So we have a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times t. Wherein ito yung mga corresponding representations. So yung a sub 1 is the first term, n is yung number of terms, then yung d natin is our common difference, and then yung a sub n is the n term or the last term of the sequence. And then meron pang other definitions dito. So we have arithmetic sequence. So it is a sequence in which each consecutive term is found by adding or subtracting the same number. Ito yung basis din, sir, kung bakit nakapag-form tayo ng rule, di ba? So yun yung basis natin. And then next natin, we have the common difference. So yung common difference natin, ma-obtain natin siya by by subtracting 2 consecutive terms. And then by getting the result, ito yung in-add natin in order to generate the next term of the sequence. So papasok din yung discussion natin about arithmetic series. So for the arithmetic series, this is the sum of the terms in the arithmetic sequence. Wala na tayong formula dito for arithmetic mean kasi although nag-provide tayo ng formula about yung average method saka yung alternative formula natin, but in this topic kasi, di ba, we can still use naman din yung formula natin in finding the n term to solve for the value of r. Then to solve for the value of d. Then upon solving for the value of d, magkakaroon na tayo ng way on how to generate the next terms. So next natin, the sum or also known as S sub n of the terms of the arithmetic sequence is given by, ito yung dalawang natin, representations. So we have S sub n equals n over 2 times, we have 2 times a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So wala naman na rin bago dun sa representations natin, so kahit di ko na siya banggitin. Aside with that, we also have formula naman wherein ang given ang first and last term, and then yung n, so we have S sub n equals n over 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. So next natin, on the other hand, yung isa pang type ng sequence na diniscuss natin for the first 4 lectures natin. So we have geometric sequence. So it is a sequence in which succeeding term is found by multiplying the same number. So pinakita rin natin, di ba, even yung operation division, na-observe natin siya. So it is also called as the common ratio. In getting the common ratio, just like common difference, you need to consider 2 consecutive terms. But this time, instead of subtracting, so we will divide those terms. So by the way, medyo tumataas na yung nanonood sa atin or viewers natin, especially sa period na to. So para ma-knowledge kayo ni sir na nakakapanood ng live natin, so you are free to comment dyan sa chat box natin para makita ko sino yung mga nakapanood. Although hindi naman siya ganun karami, pero somehow nakikita ko tumataas na rin po unti-unti yung views dyan. So it means may mga nanonood na po unti-unti. So next natin, and also, kagaya dun sa arithmetic mean, wala na rin tayong ilalagay na formula dito for geometric mean, simply because pwede naman natin ma-obtain yung geometric mean by using the n-term formula for the geometric sequence. So we have geometric series naman. So it is the sum of the terms in the geometric sequence. So ito yung formula to be used for the n-term formula. So we have a sub n equals a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1, where r is the common ratio of the sequence. Ito Then yung other terms, alam ko, you are all familiar naman na. So next natin, the sum S of n of the terms of the geometric sequence is given by, so ito yung una, for finite. Ito yung countable terms natin. So we have S of n equals, so for the numerator, we have a sub 1 times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r. Yung r natin should not be equal to 1, or else pag 1 siya, ang sum natin is none or no sum. Siyempre, pag hindi siya nag-equal to 1, so we can use this formula, provided that we can also identify the total number of terms. So next natin, we have S of n equals a sub 1 divided by 1 minus r naman for finite geometric sequence or series. Ilalagay lang tayo na restriction na kasi nakalimutan natin dito sa part ng slide na to. So to use this formula, syempre kailangan you have infinite sequence, and then yung r natin dapat papasok siya dito sa restriction natin. So we condition natin. So we have the absolute value of r less than 1, or else kagaya rin ng una, if di siya magsasatisfy dun sa dalawang condition, ang answer natin is no sum or without sum. So ito yung mga corresponding steps that we need to observe in solving word problems involving sequences and series. So number 1, look for the given sequence. Number 2, if not given, determine the pattern resembles an arithmetic sequence or geometric sequence given appropriate justification. Number 3, determine the known quantities and the quantities to be solved. Number 4, if the pattern is arithmetic in nature, use the concept and techniques taught in Module 2. Actually, hindi lang Module 2 eh. Diba? Module 1 and 2. Finding the common difference, finding the n term of the sequence, the sum, even the mean, and etc. So if the pattern is geometric in nature, use the concept and techniques taught in Module 4. Actually, hindi lang Module 4, also Module 3 and 4. Finding the common ratio, finding the n term of the sequence, the sum, and also the mean for geometric sequence, and etc. So, doon tayo sa first example natin. So, for our first example, what is the difference between the 7th term and the 13th term? So, nakalagay na dyan, we have IE or illustrative example. Ang solution natin is we need to subtract the value of a sub 13 with the value of a sub 7. So, ito yung mga corresponding numbers in the given sequence. So, we have 2, 10, 2, 6, 10, and 14, and so on. So, yung given nature ng sequence natin, the sequence given is 2, 6, 10, 14, and so on. So, the nature of the sequence, if we observe the pattern of the sequence, we can see that this is an arithmetic sequence since we keep on adding 4 to the preceding term. So, gamit pa rin natin dito sa topic na to yung dinidiscuss natin, di ba? Doon sa module number 1 and 2, especially module number 1. Diba itong part na to, when you say we keep on adding 4, this mean na yung difference natin is equal to 4. Diba between do sa dalawang type ng sequence na diniscuss natin, ang meron lang namang difference is yung concept lang ng arithmetic sequence. So ano yung mga known quantities natin? So since we will use the arithmetic sequence, dalawa lang naman yung formula, di ba? We will use the n term, or kung di man yung n term, yung sum. Meron naman tayong feeling, for example, number 1, that we will not use yung formula for sum. So it means, ang gagamitin natin, yung a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So yun siya. Dito sa natin, module, may mas systematic na way pa sila kung paano to dinidefine. Nilalagay nila dyan yung known quantities, yung makikita natin or ma-obtain natin based on the problem, and then yung unknown quantities or quantity that we need to observe. So based on the problem, yung first term daw natin is 2, yung common difference natin is 4 because of itong rule natin ng adding by 4. Pero syempre, pag wala tayong rule na ganyan, we obtain the common difference by subtracting any consecutive terms. Diba sa case na to, I will use a sub 2 and a sub 1. Alam natin, di ba, na yung 2 is a sub 1, yung 6 natin is our a sub 2. So, we have 6 minus 2. So, 6 minus 2 natin is equal to 4. So, yun yung first two known terms natin or quantities in this example. Next natin, ano yung unknown quantities natin? So, ang unknown quantities natin, yung value ng a sub 7, saka yung value ng a sub 13. But before tayo mag-proceed with a sub n saka a sub 13, ano pa ba yung kulang natin based on the formula? So, ano pa ba yung kulang natin based on the formula? If we will solve for the value of a sub 7, kailangan natin iset yung value ng n or the number of terms as 7. If we need to solve for the value of a sub 13, kailangan natin iset yung value ng n as n equals 13. Then syempre, pag meron na tayong dalawang values na yan, since we have a sub 1 and d, masasolve na natin yung unknown quantities natin. So nakalagay dyan sa unknown quantities, so we have a sub 7 and then we have a sub 13. And then hindi lang siya matatapos for a sub 13 and a sub 7. Kasi ano ba yung question? What is the difference between the 7 and the 13 terms? So after generating yung 7 and 13 term, you need to subtract the result. Again, we need to subtract the result. Itong part na to, nag-start sila with a sub 13. Kasi bakit a sub 13? Kasi based on the problem, dun muna tayo sa mas malaki. Diba? Dun tayo sa mas malaki and then followed by dun sa mas maliit. So to solve this, yung part ng formula natin is we have a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Ang ginamit natin sa case na to is we have n equals 13. Again, we have n equals 13. Ang d natin dito is 4. And then yung a sub 1 natin dito is 2. I-check na lang natin kasi baka may error pa rin tong slide na to. At least ma-check natin ng maigi. So, yung a sub n natin is a sub 13 since we are looking for the value of a sub 13. Yung a sub 1 is 2, so walang problem. Yung n minus 1 natin since n is 13, so we have plus 13 or quantity 13 minus 1. Yung common difference natin is 4. So, walang problem dun sa part ng substitution dito sa first part ng solution. Next natin, we subtract 13 and 1 to get 12. So, meron tayong 12 times 4, then plus 2. So, 12 times 4 is 48, then plus 2, meron tayong 50. So, itatry man natin siya to solve this by manual computation. Basta 50 pa rin yung lalabas dyan. So, we have a sub 3, a sub 13 as 50. Then naman sa kabilang part, we will still use yung n, a sub d as 4, then a sub 1 as 2. But this time, ang gagamitin natin dito is n equals to 7. Since n equals to 7 siya, ang hinahanap natin for a sub n this time is a sub 7. Then yung a sub 1 is still 2. Yung n minus 1 natin will be 7 minus 1 since n is 7 this time around. Then yung 4 yung common difference natin. So simplify 7 minus 1 muna to get 6. Then after getting 6, multiply natin siya and then we will add by 2. So 6 times 4 is 24, then plus 2. So we will have 26. So lalagay ko na siya dito as 26. Ito yung main question sa atin, di ba? We need to get the difference between yung a sub 3 saka yung a sub 7. So yung a sub 13 natin is 50. A sub 13 pala yan. So we have a sub 13 as 50. Yung a sub 7 natin as 26. So pag sinubtract natin yan, yung magiging sagot natin on this part is 24. So yun yung magiging sagot natin for example number 1. So yung mga nakakapanood ngayon, ito yung first time kasi hindi pa natin to nadidiscuss sa room. Or baka hindi na natin to madiscuss sa room kasi matatapos na to sa mag-open na tayo ng discussion ng topic about polynomials after the periodic examination. So may malaking advantage or edge if napapanood nyo ngayon yung live natin kasi this will be the first time na may encounter nyo to mga to, or this could be the last time na rin. So this could be the last time na rin. So yung answer natin is we have a sub 13 as 50, then a sub 7 as 26. So 50 minus 26 is 24. So yun yung sagot natin sa number 1. For the number 2 naman, find the sum of the odd integers from 3 to 99. So find the sum of the odd integers from 3 to 99. Or naman na tayo, 'di ba? Pag sinabing odd number, yung mga numbers natin are numbers ending with 1, with 3, with 5, with 7, tapos 9. So, yun siya. And then, based on the problem, meron tayong interval. Yung interval natin is we have 3 to 99. Minsan kasi, just a matter kung paano siya kino-construct eh. Ito kasi based on the solution, since yung 3 saka 99 are odd integers, so we consider yung 3 and 99 even though sila yung beginning and ending of the interval. So based on the given sequence, we can rewrite the sequence of odd integers from 3 to 99 as 3, 5, 7, 9, 9, and so on up to 97 to 99. Diba, kung magkakaroon lang tayo ng chance to expand this, diba yung mga possible terms na lalabas doon are 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, up to 95, 97, 99, following yung pattern natin. So, nature of the sequence, if we observe the pattern of the sequence, we see that this is an arithmetic sequence. Aware naman na kayo dyan, diba? Kasi last time, magbigay din tayo ng situation, pero ang binigay ko doon even number. This time, odd numbers naman. So we can see that this is an arithmetic sequence since we keep on adding 2. So dito sa part na to, ito yung keyword or key term. So ang difference natin is equal to 2. Kahit hindi pa natin na-generate yung mga odd numbers, yung value ng din natin is 2. So doon tayo sa known quantities. So ang interval na kailangan consider natin is 3 to 99. So it means hindi kasama dito yung 0, yung 1, yung 2. So, yung 3 is an odd number. So, mag-start na tayo kaagad with 3. Mag-start na tayo kaagad with 3. And then, yung a sub n natin, or last term, yung 99 is also odd number, di ba? Yung 98 kasi is even, and then 100 is also even. Yung isa pasok sa interval, yung isa naman hindi pasok sa interval, pero even number kasi yun, or even integer kasi yun. So ang aim natin or goal natin is to have odd integer. So yung last odd integer natin in this example is 99. So yung una saka yung dulo yung ano natin. Una at dulo yung ma-observe natin. So since arithmetic sequence to, I think hindi na to more on about the use of the n-term formula for arithmetic sequence. Hindi na rin to about arithmetic mean. So more on arithmetic series to. Ito rin yung kinagandaan kung bakit maganda rin siyang ma-discuss muna or may pakita natin through streaming kasi yung mga typo errors natin pwede natin ma-fix eh. Yung D natin dito is not 4 but instead this is 2. Ganahin typo error natin dyan. So, we have D equals 2. Bakit D is equal to 2? Siyempre, nandun na sa rule natin. And also, sabi nga natin, di ba, we can subtract the consecutive terms of the sequence. So, kung itatry natin siya i-generate, yung 3 ang A sub 1, yung 5 yung A sub 2 natin. Then, syempre, A sub 2 minus A sub 1. So, we have 5 minus 3. So, yung 5 minus 3 natin is 2. You think in this case, this is 2, not 4. Kasi baka malito tayo. Siguro yung 4, yung kanina yun, no? Baka na i-carry over lang. So, hindi parenthesis 4. Dito sa case na to, this is 2. So, na-fix na natin at least dito sa slide natin. Next natin, ano yung mga known quantities natin? Unknown quantities natin that we need to know. So, number 1 yung n. Di tayo sure, di ba? Alam lang natin yung first and last term. Yung n, pwede natin ma-obtain kung masipag tayong i-generate yan mula 3, 5, 7, hanggang 97 up to 99. Pero syempre, hindi natin need gawin yan since we have formula. Then another question sa atin, after knowing yung value ng n, we need to know the value of s of n. Kasi hindi naman yung n yung tinatanong eh. Ang tinatanong sa atin is the sum of all the terms from sum of all odd numbers between 3 to 99. So next natin, doon tayo sa solving for unknown. Ang gagawin natin, dalawang solution to. Number 1, we will use the n-term formula for the arithmetic sequence to solve for the value of n. Yung isa naman, we will use the formula in finding the sum of the arithmetic sequence. So may arithmetic series tayo dito. Gagamitin natin dito is formula number 2. So dito muna tayo. So to solve for n, use the formula for in finding the n term of the geometric sequence. So syempre kung ito yung formula na gagamitin natin, ano yung mga corresponding values that we need to consider? So syempre yung a sub 1 natin. Alam naman natin, di ba, yung a sub 1 is 3. And then yung difference natin is 2. Napakita na natin to kanina. And then yung a sub n natin is 99. Ito yung tatlong terms na meron tayo. And then yung n is unknown. N is unknown. Next natin, in this formula, we have a sub n. Ang a sub n natin is 99. Yung a sub 1 natin is 3. Then yung n minus 1 natin is as is since wala naman tayong n. And then yung common difference natin is 2. Next natin, we multiply n minus 1 by 2 or 2 by n minus 1. So madidistribute yan. Multiply 2 by n to get 2n. Multiply 2 by negative 1 to get negative 2. So meron tayong 99 equals 3 plus 2n minus 2. Next natin, we simplify yung 3 saka negative 2 to get 1. Then we copy the rest of the given. So we have 99 equals 2n plus 1. Then next natin, we will apply subtraction property of equality. Subtract tayo ng 1 on both sides. Eliminate tong part na to para maiwan na lang sa atin is 2n. Then subtract 99 by 1 to get 98. So meron tayong 2n is equal to 98. Ang aim lang naman natin, di ba, is to solve or compute for the value of n. So gagawin natin, we will divide both sides of the equation by 2. So yung resulting value natin will be 49. So yung isang unknown natin na solve na natin, from 3 to 99 pala, we can obtain 49 odd numbers. So again, we can obtain 49 odd numbers. Next natin, syempre dito na tayo sa last part. Ano ba yung mga kailangan natin to use this formula? Obviously, we need a sub 1. We need a sub n. Kailangan natin ng value ng n to solve for s of n. Ang gagamitin natin dito is yung formula number 2. So, sum of n or the sum of the terms or add integers between 3 to 99 equals n over 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. Based on the problem, ang a sub 1 is 3, ang a sub n is 99. Yung na-solve natin kanina na number of terms or number of odd numbers, we have 49. So since n is 49, so it means sum of 49 odd numbers between 3 to 99. Ito yung magiging corresponding substitution. Yung s sub n is s sub 49. Yung n over 2 is 49 over 2. Yung a sub 1 is 3. Yung a sub n is 99. So ang ginawa dyan, we combine 3 and 99 to get 102. And then 49 divided by 2 is 24.5. Yung iba dyan, yung gagawin, they have 49 over 2. Tapos dito sa kabila, 102. Gagawin ng iba dyan, dito magka-cancel out to make this 51. So mangyayari dyan, 49 times 51 yung gagamitin nila. Yung iba naman, gagamitin pa rin kung ano nandito sa slide natin since pwede naman tayo mag-multiply talaga ng decimal. So we have 24.5 times 102. So either of the two, still, ang magiging answer natin is we have 2,499. So, yung magiging sampala natin of the odd integers from 3 to 99 is 2,499. So, next, dun tayo sa part ng example number 3. Example number 3, mukha lang siyang intimidating pero madali lang talaga to, honestly. Example number 3, as early as grade 3, so Ken Rollins was taught by his parents to save money. So he has a piggy bank with the initial amount of 500 pesos. So he starts to deposit every month in the following pattern for the period of 2 years. So we have 10, 15, 20, and then 25 and so on. So how much will be the total amount of money he has after 2 years? So yung mangyayari dyan, yung 10, 15, 20, and 25, ito yung mga corresponding savings niya every month. So, doon sa first month, meron siyang 10. Sa second month, meron siyang 15. Sa third month, meron siyang 20. Sa fourth month, meron siyang 25. So, meron tayong 2 years. So, meron tayong total of 24 months. So, for the given sequence, we have 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. So, yung nature daw ng sequence based on the given, so if we observe the patterns of the sequence, we see that this is an arithmetic sequence since we keep on adding 5 to the preceding terms to obtain the next one. Kaso ito example 3, may konti siyang twist. Siyempre, after generating or knowing yung money na nasa-save niya every month, siyempre, kailangan din natin i-consider yung initial amount of money. Magiging crucial yan mamaya, especially doon sa part ng solution natin. So, for this part, we have to identify yung mga known quantities natin. So, for A sub 1, so we have 10. Ito yung amount of money that he will save for the first month. Then, next natin, yung common difference natin is 5. Bakit siya naging common difference of 5? Kasi diba, to solve for the common difference of 5, meron tayong A sub 2 minus A sub 1. Sa first month kasi, ang money na isa-save niya is 10. Sa second month naman, yung money na isa-save niya is 15. So, we have 15 minus 10. So, 15 minus 10 is 5. So, meron tayong A sub 1 as 10. And then, we have D is equal to 5. So, 15 minus 10 yan. Next natin, yung N natin is 24. Paano kaya siya naging 24? Yung keyword natin, yung 24 month, yung 2 years natin. Since ang given natin is by monthly basis, di ba? Alam natin para makuha natin to in terms of months. Yung 1 year, di ba, is 12. So, kung meron tayong 2 years, so yung 2, multiply natin siya by 12. So, 2 times 12 is equal to 24. So, meron tayong 24 months in total. So, meron tayong 24 months in total. So, next natin. So, we have N equals 24. So, 2 years is equivalent to 24 months. Doon tayo sa known quantities natin. So, we have S of 24 and the total amount of money Kent has after 2 years. So, dalawa yung ma-obtain natin. Number 1, yung S of 24. Yung masisave niya after 2 years na nag-start siya ng 10 and then nag-increase tayo ng 5 every month. Then, pangalawa, yung total amount of money. Sinabi natin total amount of money, yung initial plus yung amount of money na save niya for 2 years. So, solving for the known quantities, so the total amount of money will be the initial money plus the sum of all monthly saving. So, ito yung magiging solution. So, fix na yung 500 and then ito na lang yung tatry natin i-solve. Yung sum of all the sequence which is S sub 24. Siguro sa arithmetic sequence na given natin na word problem, medyo ma-confuse tayo pag hindi tayo masyadong familiar, especially with this situation. Pero pag in-explain naman, somehow madali lang naman din to. Next natin, for the formula to be used, actually may dalawa tayong solution for this. Diba, pwede natin gamitin din yung isa. Kaso ang gagawin kasi natin doon, identify nyo yung magiging amount of money niya for the 24th month. Then, hanapin nyo yung, syempre, given na yung first month, tapos multiply natin siya dun sa n over 2. Pero dito kasi yung material natin, ginamit nila yung formula number 1. So, they will use formula number 1 doon sa part ng arithmetic series. So, ano yung mga given na need natin ma-establish if we will use this formula. Actually, hindi naman ako against with this formula or solution. Okay lang din naman to. So, yung n natin is 24. Yung a sub 1 natin is 10. Then, yung difference natin is 5. Ano po ba yung kailangan natin ma-establish? Wala na, no? So, we have S sub n. Yung S sub n natin is we have S sub 24. So, ito yung hinahanap natin. So, next natin, we have, dito na tayo sa part ng substitution. Yung S sub n natin is S sub 24. Yung n over 2 natin is 24 over 2 since we have n equals 24. And then, yung 2 times a sub 1 natin is 2 times 10 since yung a sub 1 natin is 10. Then plus n minus 1 since n is 24, so we have plus quantity 24 minus 1. And then yung common difference natin is 5. Next natin, after this, we simplify. Nag-start ako mag-simplify dun sa fraction. So I have 24 over 2 as 12. I multiply yung 20 by 10 to get 20. I subtract 24 by 1 to get 23, then times 5. Tatlo na kagad yung ginawa. Nag-divide tayo dun in some point, nag-multiply tayo dun sa loob, and then nag-subtract din tayo dun sa loob. Next natin, after this, we multiply 23 by 5 to get 115. Then i-add natin siya by 20. Then after getting the sum, we will multiply this by 12. So 20 plus 115 is 135, then times 12. This is equal to 1,620. So the sum of all is money saved for 2 years or 24 months is 1,620. Hindi pa natin nasagot yung mismong tanong. Sabi dito, how much will be the total amount of money he has after 2 years? Tinatanong natin dito is yung initial nga plus yung total money saved for 2 years. Siguro dun sa part ng yung una nating hinahanap, dito sa part ng S sub 24, nagawa na natin. Pero yung total amount of money after 2 years, wala pa. So, ito yung magiging solution natin. So, next natin, therefore, his total money in 2 years is yung 500, yung initial amount of money niya, plus yung na-save niya for 2 years na 1,620. By adding those values, magka-come up tayo with 2,120 pesos. So, yun yung magiging sagot natin for example number 3. So, next natin, doon na tayo sa part ng example number 4. I think yung example number 4 is arithmetic pa rin, no? So, after arithmetic, check muna natin yung yung stream kung okay pa. Kasi baka nahinto na or para makamustahan natin somehow kung yung ibang part, especially pag umabot kayo dito sa pinapanood na to. So, example number 4, how much will Reynan receive on his 25th year in his career as an engineer if the starting salary is 30,000 pesos and he received 1,500 salary raise every year. So, itong number 4 is somehow similar sa number 3. So, meron tayong fixed na 30,000 and then for every year nagdadagdag siya. So, meron tayong 25 years. So, let's see kung ilan yung madadagdag hanggang sa di pa naman to magre-retire, no? Sabi lang, 25th year in his career, di ba? So, ano na yung salary niya after 25 years? So, for the given sequence, the first term of the sequence is 30,000 since it is Reynan's starting salary. The problem stated that every year his salary increases by 1,500. So, his salary on the second year is 31,500. And then 33,000 on the third year. And so on until he reaches the 25th year in service. Hence, we can write the sequence as 30,000 31,500, 33,000, and so on. So next natin, dun tayo sa nature ng sequence. If we observe the pattern of this sequence, we see that this is an arithmetic sequence since we keep on adding. Hindi to 5 baguhin natin. This is not 5. Lalagay natin dyan is 1,500, no? So we keep on adding 1,500 pesos to the preceding term. Inix natin yung error. To the preceding terms to obtain the next. So ano yung mga known quantities natin? So we have A sub 1 as 30,000 as the starting salary. Yung D natin is 1,500 because of this term, di ba? Yung adding by 1,500 or na-obtain natin siya with D is equal to A sub 2 minus A sub 1. Di ba for A sub 2 sabi natin sa second year niya, ang sahod niya na is 31,500. Yung sahod niya nung first year niya is 30,000. So, by subtracting those values, magka-come up tayo with 1,500. So, magka-come up tayo with 1,500. Next natin, yung N is 25. So, since based on the problem, meron tayong nabasang keyword. Yung keyword natin is 25th year. Hindi pala siya halos kaparehas ng number 3. Kasi number 3 may add pa tayo. So, number 4, more on n-term formula lang pala to. More on n-term formula lang. So, we are looking for Reynan's salary on the 25th year. So, we look for the value of A sub 25. Hindi natin kailangan ng sum dito. Ang kailangan lang natin is to determine the 25th term or yung pang 25th year niya in service, yung salary. Next natin, from the problem, we will have the sequence 30,000, 31,500, 33,000, 34,500, and so on. And then we can use itong formula na to, yung formula in finding the n term. Ano ba yung mga corresponding given natin para madali lang siya makita? So yung A sub 1 natin is 30,000. So yung D natin is 1,500. And then yung N natin is 25. So we have A sub N. So we are trying to look for the value of A sub 25. Ito yung nawawala. Siguro sa part ng solution natin, kahit hindi niya palagyan siya ng peso sign or symbol, siguro kahit sa dulo na somehow pwede naman na siguro yun. Next natin, yung A sub N natin is A sub 25. Yung A sub 1 natin is 30,000. And then we have N minus 1. So since N is 25, so we have 25 minus 1. And then ang D natin is 1,500. So copy nyo lang yung A sub 25, yung 3,000, then yung term na plus. Subtract natin yung 25 by 1 to get 24. So meron tayong 24 times 1,500. Next natin, multiply yung 24 by 1,500. So you will have 36,000. So 36,000 plus 30,000, meron tayong 66,000. So for example, number 4, yung magiging sahod ni Reynan on his 25th year will be equal to 66,000 pesos. Natapos na yung mga examples natin.